Hey guys, welcome to the OTI podcast, the Out of the Industry podcast. My name is Celia Zoller, or Celia Z, however you guys want to remember me. Guys, I'm here and I'm super excited to welcome back a guest who's already been on the pod, Mr. Ronnie Bachata, and he is here going to be talking about the R&B Entertainment Group. Ronnie, what's up? How are you?
What's going on? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Celia. So yeah, I'm Ronnie Bachata, founder of RBEntertainment Group. I am a full-time entertainment MC, as well as I organize and promote my own pop-up events at different locations.
Awesome. So you've been doing this for how long now?
So I've been in hospitality for over 20 years, managing bars, promoting nightclubs. I started as a promoter, putting flyers on cars. Like I was that guy. Yeah. And then in that time, I've managed restaurants, I've managed nightclubs, and to the point where every place I used to manage or work for, I was kind of in charge of throwing and come up with these theme parties. When I got to a point in my career that I decided to stop doing that, I decided to start throwing parties for myself. But all the experience I've got was all the years of 20 years of me working for different venues already. And I decided to take all of that knowledge and, dump it from it.
Nice. So that's kind of what's inspired you to start your own events, start your own parties and stuff, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome. And so let's go into that. Like, what goes into planning an event? What are all of the steps behind the scenes that us partygoers or attendees don't really see?
Yeah, so the first thing I come up is the idea, the theme. What kind of theme I want to do. One thing I don't want to do is just do we're doing a hip-hop party, or we're doing a Latin party. I want to give some kind of an identity, okay? So the first thing is, what's the identity? What's going to be called? Mm-hmm. Then once I have the idea, I do venue scouting, or I'll actually go to different venues because I try to find the right venue. Just to give an example, my biggest success are my Latin parties. Now, when I do Latin parties, I look at the venue, but it's more about the layout as well. One thing I need is a dance floor. Mm-hmm. So if that venue doesn't have a dance floor, let's say they have a bunch of tables, are there the ability to make a dance floor? Can they move tables around? So if I go to a venue that doesn't have that, then I won't do it there. So I do a lot of venue scouting. When I go out, sometimes 90% of the time when I go out, I'm going out to venue scout.
You're actually scanning the venue.
I'm seeing the scene. Meeting management, I'm getting bartenders so I can start getting friendly and see how they operate. Of course, I have a good time, but a lot of times I'm going to different places, even brand new, that I heard about to see, can I do an event here, maybe possibly one day.
Of course. Is there something in a venue that you look for specifically other than the dance floor? You're like, wow, this looks like an area where I would actually throw an event?
I also think about parking. Believe it or not, I didn't know that was a thing, but I've had people thank me. Oh my God, thank you so much. Every time you do an event, parking's always easy, because girls are wearing heels, or God forbid, girls come alone or leave alone.
Right.
So I try to make everything convenient. Even if there is parking, is it like, oh, Valley only, it's $30. I'm not doing it there. I like to make it very simple. Again, I haven't been in a situation where a venue was so great that I needed to do it with ridiculous, but I think about every detail. Okay, great party, great venue, but you got to drive for 2 hours to find parking. It's something like that.
Yeah.
That alone would make me not want to do it there.
It's inconvenient.
Yeah. And I didn't know that was a thing. People actually made it out their way and say, that's crazy how every time you do an event, I don't worry about parking. I don't even ask because I know you think about that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that might be like part of the 2 out of the 3 main things that are important for an event is, you said dance floor, because these are Latin parties. We like to dance. Yep. And then parking. What would be like the third thing that's like, you know what, we absolutely need to have this?
Every event that I throw, I fund all the expenses, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, believe it or not, it's easier for me to work with a venue that's willing to work with me. Because I'm coming with all the expenses, there has to be a negotiation where how can I get that return back, right? For the most part, so it deals with that too. Some venues are a little bit more, they don't want to give a big percentage, because I usually do a cover charge of the door, and the door is usually mine. Mm-hmm. And I'll do some kind of a bar split with sales of bar, food, whatever. So if the negotiation doesn't come out to it makes sense for me or them, because it could be both ways, right, that would also stop me from doing it there. You know what I mean? So I try to find venues that understand what I can produce. And I'm big about, I love the industry so much, and I love to find a venue that, even if it's a venue that's not doing well, sometimes I'll go there to help them. I'll use my event to help them and promote their business, because I love the industry so much that it's not only about my party. I can also introduce a new venue
Right.
and people are going to come back every weekend has nothing to do with me, but now I'm helping another business as well. That's
Of
one thing
course.
I look at as well.
Oh,
So,
that's great. I
yeah.
like that. I like that you're helping, these maybe smaller venues as well
Mm-hmm.
who haven't seen a lot of traffic, especially going into the summer. I mean, I know you have a busy summer coming up and we'll get into that later,
Yeah.
but I also wanted to ask you, what kind of like community are you really trying to attract and bring together with your events? Like, I know it's Latin parties and everything,
Yeah.
but what kind of demographic, I guess, are you looking for?
I do mainly, and that's one thing that I'm trying to mix it up. So the last event that I threw was a throwback party, right?
I went to that.
Yeah. I'm stronger with Latin parties because I'm a dancer, but I am trying to mix it up because I don't want to be the guy who only throws good Latin parties.
Okay.
So my throwback party was a way for me to mix it up a little bit, right? And I say my demographics, I would have to say, let's by age range. So I come from Palladium nightclub. I used to work at Palladium for 7 years. And Palladium, if you remember, Friday nights was young, Saturday nights was a more mature crowd. I still have a lot of those followers that support me to this day, and we all got older. So my demographics for sure for age range, I would say is anywhere between 30 to 67 years old even. That, I will say, makes it a little difficult when I throw events. The reason why is because nowadays, I have to remember that they're not all young, they're not all old. So and about a venue as well, is there enough seating area for people that just want to have a place to sit? Because I have a lot of older clientele as well that they're not going to buy 4 or 5 bottles to sit down. They just want to have a table to buy a bucket of Coronas.
Right.
So my demographic age was up between 30 to 67 years old, and that's another thing that goes into me picking a venue. Is there some VIP areas for someone that does want to buy bottles, but there's also some seating area for someone who just wants to relax their feet. And
Right.
if I don't have those two things, that's another reason why I might not choose a venue as well. Because my demographic age is so wide. They're not super young and they're not super old. They're kind of like in that middle. You know what I mean?
I think it's very important to have a section where people are able to sit and they don't have to spend $1,000 on
agree.
bottle service. Is it good for the venue? Absolutely. But really what keeps the person there is being comfortable. So the
Yeah.
longer they stay there, the more they consume. Either way, I think the venue will profit off of
Yeah,
it.
100%.
That's great. So in your opinion, because we don't want anyone to get offended, right? We have a big social dance scene in South Florida where, there's a lot of people that are taking dance classes and they want to go and practice with people. Those people all kind of end up finding each other at all the same events. So I know that your events, you don't want to tell these people not to come. Obviously, we want them to come. We want dancers.
Correct.
But it's not a social. So what separates your events and your parties from, something like that?
That's a good question. So I've been asked that before because my Latin parties the Latin ones are called, the name of it is called Pasión Latina, the real Latin party. And one person did call me or wrote me on Instagram, says, you call it the real Latin party. Are you saying that the parties I go to or I throw are not real Latin parties? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, though, there are two separate kind of Latin parties. I don't throw socials. Now, for those that don't know what socials are, usually it's a lot of students that go there, and it's kind of like a safe space for them to dance with other students. And also, it's real dancers.
Yeah.
But my personal experience that when I go to socials, sometimes they do like the free bachata class for the first hour. They'll do sometimes maybe a Latin performance, or even sometimes they'll do a lot of a specific genre. They'll do a lot of salsa or a lot of bachata,
Right.
a lot. So my parties, I'm bringing back the old Latin party days, the Cafe Iguana days, the Palladium days, the Conga, Atarazana, even the Latin room of Passion nightclub.
Absolutely.
I'm bringing those days where it was just a Latin party, people that just want to go out, have a good time, dance, drink, and just create memories. That's what I create. So I've had people ask me to bring up that whole thing. People say, "Oh, you do another party? Hey, my group, we're dancers. Maybe do like a show." And I say, I appreciate, but my fan base, the people that support me, they wouldn't appreciate that. There's a space for that. But for my part, it's people just want to come and dance.
Yeah, I get it. It's a
Yeah.
concept that's already been done
Correct.
10 times over by 10 different people. I think that a lot of people haven't been able to find a venue where they can actually listen to music and go and dance and not really be judged by how their level of salsa
Right.
or whatever is. They just want to go out and dance and listen to music. I totally get that. I mean, I've gone to socials where I've had someone come and ask me to dance, and the moment they realize that my salsa is on 2 and not on 1, or my level of salsa
Yep.
isn't really up to par to them, they literally spin me and they're like, you can go back to where you were standing. And it's really like, oh my God, like, I just want to dance. Why do I have to audition for you right now?
Right.
You know?
And that's another thing too about socials that I'm not, again, I respect the industry, but especially today's, I've ranted about it. I don't like the new bachata, which is bachata sensual.
Okay, hold on. We have to talk about
But
this.
they-
We have to talk about this because this went
Yes.
viral, okay? Your rant on snake dancing is almost what you call it. This sensual bachata.
Snake chata.
Snake chata.
what I
That's
call it.
crazy. It's just sensual bachata, you know. The partner is usually riding someone's like thigh and
Yeah.
leg, and I think in a lot of ways, I mean, I've experienced it as an attendee and someone who just goes to see the socials and watch people dance. It is very, very intimate, very sexual, and to do that with a complete stranger, whether you're in a relationship or not, for me, I found it to be a little bit weird.
Yeah, 100%. Let me tell you why I don't like bachata sensual, okay? Me, from my understanding, bachata has always been sensual. So I feel they came with a new dance, give it a new name. For those who don't know about bachata, do you know bachata used to be banned because it was too sensual?
Right.
You used to hear bachata in strip clubs in Dominican Republic at
Or
one
in
point.
cantinas,
And
yeah,
then a
like
bunch
bars.
of artists finally came around, and one of the godfathers of bachata, Juan Luis Guerra, transitioned it to a more loved music. But it used to be too sensual at one point.
Right.
So for them to come up with a new thing called sensual bachata, it's kind of an insult, right? And to me, it's not real bachata. I respect it's a new dance. It comes up, but give it a new name. It's not bachata. There's only one bachata. It's just called bachata. It's just
Heard.
called bachata. That's it.
All right, heard that from Ronnie. Bachata is just called bachata.
That's it.
Not sensual bachata.
No.
Or what is it?
I
Snake
call it
chata?
snake chata.
That's a little
That's what
reaching, but it's okay.
Because they do like the snake body rolling.
No, I've seen it. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah, no,
like,
no
should we
bueno.
just like take it to the other room,
No.
or like it's a little out there.
Yeah.
All right, so it's funny that we just left off that question, and my next question is, what would you like to see more at parties or events?
A lot of the things that a lot of events do, they think about the dollar, right? So they try, how can they make more money? Which you have to. You're running a business.
Correct.
One thing I'm not a fan of anymore is venues that have nothing but tables, which is what separates my events from other Latin parties. Because nowadays you go to a Latin club, it's tembo reggaeton for 8 hours, right? Or you hear bachata, and you make it love, and you're having a good time, and the next song is Rick Ross. Now you want to fight somebody. You went from making love to fighting. Like, there's no true, or like I said, I've gone to venues where there's more tables than customers. So I just wish that they separate where you don't feel like everywhere you go, you have to spend $300-400 in order to be there, right? So I just wish they make nightlife now would not be so much copy paste, I guess, and think about people that just want to have a good time, just get out their house, not feel like I can't go out because I don't have $500 to spend to be there, right? So I just wish they make it a little bit more friendly for everybody.
What do you think would be the solution to that? Just opening up a space more so that there is room to dance, or
yeah.
just get rid of VIP tables altogether?
I don't say get rid of it, because I like to sometimes go out and buy a table and have a good time. I like that. But I like to know that I can get the experience of both. If I want to go out and not do that, I
Yeah,
can
you
still
have
have a
both
good
options,
time.
yeah.
But there's places where the only way you'll have a good time is if you have a table.
Yeah, that just seems a little greedy from the
It's
venue,
just
to
too
be
much.
honest.
And I've even been in venues where the entire middle is tables and the outskirts of it is the dance floor, but it's enticing you like, man, I want to be in there. All right, fine, I'll spend $500. So I get why venues do it.
Yeah.
But when I plan events, I think of it as a consumer first and then as a business owner. How could I make people happy that they came out and spend their hard-earned money to be here, take off time work, maybe go up, wake up, they might have to work the next day, and how can I make it where it's worth it for them, but I can, of course, still profit? Because this is a business for me, right?
Yeah.
But I also want to give people the experience. Like, what I try to build, a quote that I heard one day, I want to give people emotional souvenirs.
Interesting.
Write that down.
Emotional souvenirs.
That's what I want to build, yeah.
Okay. Nice. That's great. I think what you're doing is awesome. You're building a community and you're bringing something back that kind of died out in our area in a way. And I really like that you're building this, this event and pushing forward with people who have known you for years, For Memorial Day weekend, you guys had the Rewind Throwback Party, which was awesome. I went to that. I had a great time. You guys brought Tony Touch out. Like, that's crazy. I think that was such a great party. I had a good time. I know you're going to have a busy summer. So tell us, what events should we not miss? What's coming up for the summer?
So for June, my very next party is going to be June 28th, a Saturday. It's going to be my next Pasión Latina party, which is my real Latin parties. Same venue as the exclusive. So my grand opening was about 2 months ago, and by popular demand, I had to bring that one back.
Okay.
So I'm bringing back, and I'm bringing back my boy DJ Red to play all your favorite old school, new school Latin hits, everything. Next, I do have something planned. I haven't had all the ideas yet, but I have something planned for my 40th birthday in August. Still waiting on the details on that. But what else is coming up in August is I have the honors of being called directly from the Marlins that do the Dominican Heritage event, and I was chosen to be one of their influencers to promote the Heritage event they do every year at the Marlins Stadium.
Hell yeah, big time. We doing the Marlins Stadium?
Yeah, it's gonna be
exciting, man. That's awesome.
So it's every year they do where you get, they have the regular game, so I think they're playing the Blue Jays this time.
Okay.
But in between, they have a huge Dominican party. They usually do a live band. There's still TBD about all the details. Okay. But as of right now, they're getting all the word out. If you buy a ticket, you get a free limited edition actual Dominican baseball jersey. They change it every year.
But it's like Marlins jersey with...
What they have some Marlin logos was more the Dominican heritage.
Okay.
More of that. But every ticket you get that, with that for free.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's in August, you said?
Yeah, so the reason why, for those who don't know, that August is actually historical. Most people know about the Independence Day, which is February 27th, our Dominican Independence Day. But August 16th, there was a day in Dominican Republic, which is called the Restoration Day or the Restoration War, where in 1863, they got their independence, or fighting their independence war against Spain.
Okay.
So that's why, if you don't know, that even the Dominican parade in New York, it's always in August.
Oh,
and
that makes
sense.
sense.
So that's why people don't think about it, because they're like, why August? And because of that is Restoration Day.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that. And we got a little bit of history right there with Ronnie Bachata. Amazing. So where can people get these tickets for these events, and how can they sign up for all that?
So for my Pasión Latina party, is going to be at pasionlatina.eventbrite.com. Right now, I have $10 pre-sale tickets. As of right now, so get them right now, so you don't have to pay so much more. For the Marlins Dominican Heritage Party, that's going to be at marlins.com/Dominican. That's where you have to go directly for those tickets and get you that free jersey with the ticket as well.
That's very cool. I like that. That's going to be a big event for you. Look at you going from emceeing weddings and events. But you still do that, right? You do MC weddings?
Yeah, so I still do all my own side corporate events, bar mitzvahs, giveaway. But my biggest accomplishment is I'm one of the resident MCs for the Seminole casinos.
That's right.
So they keep me busy. So between Hard Rock and Coconut Creek Casino, that's where I kind of bounce back and forth. But that's my biggest contract, where they keep me busy every single month. Amazing. And then in between, I do weddings, corporate events, and things like that in between.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know that you kind of have like a list of DJs and entertainers that you use for these events in your back pocket. That's definitely something that you've kind of collected throughout the years of working in the industry. How important is it to have the right DJ for each event?
So that's because I'm all about, one thing I don't like in my experience is telling the DJ what to play, right? So I always have to do my research, my due diligence, just like when I do venue scouting. Same thing with DJs and bands. Every once in a while, I like to book a band, but I don't go by YouTube videos. I need to see you live. I want to see you live. So before I'm interested, I have to go to an event that you're doing, because I want to know that you are going to fulfill my vision. I can't play for you. I can't be a DJ, but I know what good music is. I may not be able to go up there and do it myself, but I know what good music is. I know what people like, because again, every event I do, I put myself back in the consumer's perspective. Okay. So it's very, very important. There are a couple people that I use my go-to, because they already know my vision and we work well together. And sometimes it's better just it's kind of going to a restaurant and you eat the same thing, you love it, then one day you want to mix it up and you regret it.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I should have got what I always get.
Yeah.
So I try to keep the same thing with my entertainers. They know my vision, they understand, and they care as much as I do about what I'm trying to accomplish for these events.
I love that. Do you think people prefer like a band over a DJ at some places?
I think it's good to mix it up, but my perspective, it depends on the event. For example, I threw a Dominican Independence Party last February 27th at the Dare Rooftop.
Yeah, that was a big turnout. That was
For
amazing.
that one, I had to do a band to mix it up. I wanted a típico band, which I had Los Pascual. Shout out to Los Pascual. They were the típico merengue and bachata band. But you got to have a DJ at least, because most bands play one or two particular genres. So the DJ is going to be in between to play the music for everybody that's there.
And when they take a break and stuff, there
Correct.
needs to be music still going.
Exactly. So
Okay.
having a good DJ is always as important as having a good band, because they go hand in hand, right?
Okay.
So a band is good. The only thing about the bands, from my experience, it depends on the event, because if they are a salsa band or a bachata band, they play for roughly, it's normally 2 1-hour sets. So you're going to hear one genre for that whole hour, right?
Yeah.
So I think the event makes a difference what kind of bands you want to have as well. You know what I mean? And make sure that's that's why you need to have a DJ, and you want to keep the band sets short, because at the end of the day, you still want to mix it up for the people that may not dance only salsa. They like their salsa, but they also want something else. So
Yeah. This is going to be really exciting. I mean, I think it's a great kickoff summer party, this Latin party. And, just in a political climate, I think it's also something to where we can go and just kind of dance the night away and kind of forget about what's really going on for a little bit in our community. You know what I mean? So I really commend you for doing that right now. I feel like it's something that a lot of people really need, for
Thank
sure.
you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So we already know that any of the tickets for the events and for the Marlins game, if you want any more info, we have it on Ronnie Bachata's bio. You click the link on there.
Yep.
Also follow RBEntertainment, which is his entertainment group. You'll be up to date with all of his events. And what's your personal?
My personal one is Ronnie Bachata, all one word, no underscores, no dots. Ronnie Bachata, one word. And then, yes, like my business one is RB Entertainment Group. If you want to get to know all my events, it's better to go to my RB Entertainment Group. If you want to know my events and me personally, Ronnie Bachata, you can follow. I put everything on that one.
Yeah,
Everything.
he's very personal, guys.
Yeah.
You can DM him whatever you want. He'll respond.
Yeah, 100%.
He'll say something back. No worries. But thank you again for coming through for the podcast. I appreciate you being a guest, and you've always been a supporter of the podcast. I really appreciate your patience. You're like also a little bit of a voice for me, where you're just like, Sil, hey, what's up with the podcast? Hey, what are you doing? And it kind of keeps me also like on my P's and Q's with it. We're going into summer now. It's a little bit slower for the industry, for me, for like bartenders and stuff. Especially me, I bartend by the beach, so I really want to be doing more. Filming, going to events, being present, and all of that. So I appreciate
100%.
you.
No, and I'm proud of you where you've come. We've known each other for a long time. And I tell everybody, my biggest thing is I want to support everybody. If you have an event going on, I'll support you. The only payment I need is your success. That's all I care about.
That's amazing. I love that.
There's just so much to go around. We don't need to gatekeep.
Exactly.
I want to help you help me. That's it. That's all I want is your success. And that's all I care about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. So before we let you guys go, we're going to do a quick little rapid fire segment. We did this last time when you were on the other episode, on our previous episode, and we had fun with it. So we're going to get into our rapid fire segment. All right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to hit you with a series of questions just like last time. First thing that comes to mind, you just let it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So what is your go-to cocktail to get the night started?
So I would say it depends on the venue, but if I want something quick, I always start myself with a Makers on the Rocks with a splash of ginger ale, very splash.
You mean depends on the venue.
Because if it's speakeasy, I gotta get old fashioned. I am an old fashioned connoisseur. Like I've mastered my old fashions at home.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
If it is a speakeasy, gotta have an old fashioned. That's my go-to drink.
Okay.
But if it's a nightclub vibe, Makers with a splash of ginger ale.
Heard. All right. And what would your dream collab event be? And this can be anyone, dead or alive. Dream event.
Yeah. My dream in this industry would be to throw like a full-on festival type of event, right? And I would love one day to book someone as big as El Torito or even the Godfather, Juan Luis Guerra. That's what I'm like, mommy, I made it. Like I book those are like the two that I would love one day to get to that point in my career. 100%.
Yeah, with big names like that, you would need city blocks. To get people to have the capacity of all the people that want to see those
don't worry
artists.
About that. I'll be there. I'm gonna get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. It's late night. You've gone to a Ronnie Bachata event and you're hungry. Do you want chicken wings or tacos?
Chicken wings or tacos? I think I'm biased. I can eat tacos all day, anytime.
Okay.
I'll
your
pick
tacos are always your go-to?
Over chicken wings any day.
Okay.
I love a good taco.
And then outside of those two, what would an option be? Like, I'm going to go get
If I can find one nearby, I'm driving to any chimichurri truck I can find. Get myself a good chimmy. and I'm in.
You want to hear something tragic? I've never had a chimney.
Oh my goodness. So I will literally drive all the way. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If I'm up for it, I'll drive, because what I don't like about chimney trucks, they're always south. So they're at places like Picante, they're over there. Sometimes they're at Fantasy Room. And if they're there, I'm driving. If I'm
Where's
still
all
up
this,
for
in
it.
Hollywood?
So Fantasy Room is in Hollywood, downtown Hollywood by Young Circle. Picante is, I guess it's considered like a little, it's like a little more south from there, but maybe like not even a 10-minute drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only food truck I have by me in Fort Lauderdale that is like clutch and they're open late and they always hit are this cachapa truck. It's called Lola's.
Lola's?
Yeah, it's a Venezuelan. It's
Venezuelan.
Venezuelan, and they have cachapas. Yo, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're drunk. You just had a good night at the club. That is the best way to end the night, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'll take
I'ma
tacos
go.
too. All right. So, what is your biggest fear?
Oof. Biggest fear. We're about to get deep. Is that what we're about to do right now?
I mean, we can.
So, with everything I'm doing, with my careers, and I will true love to be successful in this. I'm gonna say, I would have to say that my biggest fear is, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I dream to one day have a family of my own. And then my biggest fear is that I get caught up in this too much that I never get the opportunity to do that. I would love to be a father one day. So that's probably my fear, that I never become one.
No, I don't see that in your future, bro.
Yeah.
If that's something you absolutely want,
Yeah. And
It'll
it's
happen.
a twofer. So the twofer is that my father wasn't around long enough to see everything I've been doing to this point. So I just hope that I get to the peak of my career, at least while my mother's around, so she can at least see me do it. So I know my dad's watching me, he's proud of me, but I want to be, as long as I make to that point in my career where I'm like, I made it, that while she's still around. That's
no, I absolutely resonate with that. You know, I'm the oldest and my parents are always on my mind. It's like, all right, how do I move? How do I make my parents proud? My parents came to this country with nothing and gave me everything, you know,
Yeah.
so I need to make sure that I live up to whatever it is that they need me to be at, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, we always are going to be our biggest critics, but I absolutely resonate with what you said.
Yeah.
And then lastly, tell us a random fun fact about you.
all right. Fun fact, get ready to be judged. So fun fact about me, I don't speak Spanish fluently. No, a lot of people don't know that. I know Ronnie Bachata. They're like, what? Ronnie Bachata?
Yeah.
It's Ronnie Bachata, not Ronnie habla español, okay?
You know what it is? You speak fast, bro. And I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
you get away with it
Yeah.
because they're like, okay, well, he speaks fast. So what do you do in a situation when someone's speaking to you in Spanish?
So I understand it, right?
Okay.
Enough. But it's the communicating back. Like, I've been to Dominican Republic, I've been to Colombia, and what I know gets through. But for me to really sit down, don't hire me. If it's a call center, I need a Spanish speaker. Don't hire me. You're gonna fire me the first week.
Yeah, okay.
It's more like that. But if I need to figure it out, I do. But
So
I am
more like what is it? Conversational.
But I am taking the necessary actions to learn it more, to more further my career, because I
Like
know
what?
it will hold me back.
You downloaded Duolingo or
apps,
something?
I do apps. I watch novelas. I
Okay.
tell my family talk to me more.
Good.
And kind of, because I need, in my career, I know I'll go so much more farther if I have both
Oh, for
locked
sure.
down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the next Dominican Steve Harvey. Okay.
Heard that.
I'm trying to go places. All right. So
Bro, you got the fedoras down
That's
already.
it.
Steve Harvey has the suits. You got
That's
the
it. Yeah, that's
fedoras.
it.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I think this is amazing. Thank you so much again for being on. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow the OTI podcast. We are on YouTube, Instagram, and a little bit on TikTok. We're working on that. Hey, I work full time here. All right,
Yeah,
give me
I
a
hear
break.
you.
All right.
We're too old though. TikTok is like the young.
Who's
I'm still
too
learning.
old? You're the one
my bad.
turning
I'm
40
too old.
this
I'm too
year.
old. No, but honestly, congratulations to you. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
I got to give a huge shout out though to my boy Isaias, who runs this TMG Studios. Thank you for letting us use your space. It's an amazing studio. And for those of you that want to do a podcast or something, hit them up. We're going to tag them somewhere in this video. Somewhere they'll be tagged. TMG Studios. Big shout out to you. Thank you again, man.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you, Isaias. Thank you, Andres, for being on production today and having us here. This is an amazing studio. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you again, and we'll see you soon. Stay tuned for all of the news. Peace.
Peace out.